Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Welcome to your news at noon. These are the top stories we are tracking. Government predicts need for more FPSOs with new oil finds in Stabroek Block. Locals to set up $600 million shore-based facility at Vredenhoop. Opposition to grill government over $14 billion housing contracts. And South African offshore oil exploration authorization challenged in court. Meanwhile, husband killed with his own knife had tried to set wife on fire, and man who strangled woman with towel captured. Meanwhile, alleged Ponzi schemers failed to appear in court. Police suspect they forged positive COVID-19 results. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Got me in a rush. Driving style for the summer. Digicel Summer Rush.
Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Driving style for the summer. Hey, Digicel Summer Rush.
Start topping up now.
And now for the news in detail. The Stabroek Block continues to prove to be a prolific oil and gas basin, with Esso yesterday announcing 2 new finds for a total of 22 discoveries by the U.S. oil major in Guyana's waters. According to the oil company, the drilling activities at its Whiptail 1 well encountered 246 feet of net pay from high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoirs. It too noted that drilling is also ongoing in the Whiptail 2 well. The company iterated that drilling continues at both wells to test deeper targets, and results will be evaluated for future development. The new discoveries add to the previous recoverable resource estimate of approximately 9 billion oil equivalent barrels. According to Subject Minister Vikram Bharat, as with discoveries prior, the government of Guyana foresees this new development increasing the potential for additional oil vessels. And in other news, 3 local businessmen have teamed up to meet the growing demand for oil and gas support services with the proposal of a mega shore-based project at Foreshore Plantation Best on the west bank of Demerara. Those businessmen are former GCCI President Nicholas Degu Boyer, miner Andron Alfonso of ZRN Investments Inc., and Nazar Shel Mohammed of Hadi's World Inc. Together, the trio has formed the consortium NRG Holdings Inc. According to the project summary published on the EPA's website, the proposed Port of Vredenhoop project will be approximately between $200 to $600 million being invested in Guyana, thereby helping the country expand key shipping, port, and shore-based facilities to meet rapidly increasing industry requirements. And moving on. Former Minister with responsibility for the housing and water sectors, Annette Ferguson, has signaled an intention to grill Substantive Minister Colin Crowell over the award of more than 200 contracts totaling some $13.9 billion. The move by the parliamentary opposition is documented in the order paper for the next sitting of the National Assembly set for August 3rd. According to the agenda, Ferguson will be utilizing the opportunity at the next sitting to inquire about the minister, firstly, when these works are expected to commence. Additionally, Ferguson is looking to have the House be informed as to the number of units to be constructed in Regions 3 and 6. This, in addition to providing the House with detailed locations, along with a breakdown of what it will cost the government to construct each unit. And now let's tell you, just months after Guyana had seen its first climate change case filed against the oil and gas companies operating here, the South Durban Community Environmental Alliance of South Africa has taken the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Barbara Creasy, to court over her decision to authorize oil and gas exploration off the KwaZulu-Natal coast. The Alliance filed an extensive review application in the Pretoria High Court in June, challenging the authorization given to Eni South Africa and Sasol for their planned venture in offshore block ER236 off KwaZulu-Natal coast. The Alliance, represented by environmental law specialist Cullinan and Associates, noted that the review application is a watershed case because it stands to influence how and whether, if at all, deep sea exploration and production in South Africa will be conducted. And moving on, Anthony Pakamram, the father of three, who was fatally stabbed by his reputed wife on Sunday, was in 2012 arrested for allegedly attempting to set the woman on fire in a house they were sharing. Pakamram was reportedly stabbed once to his neck with the same knife he had armed himself with while he and the woman were arguing on Sunday. Police revealed too that he had a history of violence towards the woman, who is the mother of his children. The woman's aunt, who requested not to be named, revealed that on many occasions her niece had reached out to her about problems she was having with Pakamram. The aunt added that even on the day of the incident, her niece had texted her about an assault that had occurred the previous night. On that occasion, Pakamram had slapped her, the aunt revealed. The woman was taken into police custody, and according to police, an investigation is still ongoing. You're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. We will return after the break.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. Alleged Ponzi scheme operators Yuri Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael on Tuesday failed to appear in court to answer to 60 new fraud charges that were instituted against them. Yuri and Atika were slapped with the new fraud charges and were expected to appear in the Sparendam Magistrates Court on Tuesday. However, the couple failed to do so on the grounds that they tested positive for COVID-19. According to a Guyana Police Force statement, the couple's lawyer, Dexter Todd, presented two medical certificates on their behalf, which reportedly purports that they both tested positive for the virus. However, the police reported that a perusal of the medical certificates by investigators has raised the suspicion that the documents might be bogus. As such, an investigation was launched to determine the authenticity of the medical certificates. And moving on, luck for the mechanic who used a towel to strangle a Brazilian woman until she was unconscious ran out yesterday after he was captured by Region 3 police ranks. The mechanic, Kevin Downs, had managed to elude police for almost 2 months after trying to strangle the woman to death at his home during the wee hours of June 3rd. We had reported on Wednesday that although ranks were looking for him, they would turn up empty-handed. Checks were made for the mechanic at his home located in Leparfit Harmony on the west bank of Demerara, his place of work, and throughout Region 3, but he was not found. Investigators related that one of the setbacks they faced during the hunt was the fact that they were working with only a physical description of the suspect. A photograph of the suspect, they said, was difficult to obtain, and it was only recently that they managed to acquire one. The photo proved critical in their hunt for the man who had been eluding them. And now let's tell you that the Ministry of Health reported yesterday that 3 women who tested positive for COVID-19 have died. As a result of this, the country's COVID-19 death toll has moved to 533. Further, the Health Ministry reported that within the last 24 hours, it recorded 81 new infections, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 22,315. Presently, there are 11 patients in the COVID-19 ICU, 64 in institutional isolation, 857 in home isolation, and 2 in institutional quarantine. To date, a total of 20,850 persons have recovered after testing positive for the virus. And just before we wrap things up, let's head over to page 7 of the Kaieteur News. Norway strengthened its rules and Exxon shuts down its refinery there. Guyana needs to modernize its laws, and we will see how quickly Exxon will fall in line here or pack up and leave. Though we prefer a cooperative and honestly partnering Exxon, it might be better if it shuts down and leave. We are tired of Exxon's trickeries, disgusted at Exxon's collusions with the PPP government, and outraged at Exxon's disrespect for Guyanese. We dare Guyana's leaders to fix our laws and let loose the EPA on Exxon to do right by us. The PPP leaders in government do like Norway, strengthen our laws, strengthen enforcement, strengthen audit reviews. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon, but just before we go, let's take a quick rundown of today's top stories. Government predicts a need for more FPSOs with new oil finds in Stabroek Block. Locals to set up $600 million shore-based facility at Vredenhoop. Opposition to grill government over $14 billion housing contracts. South African offshore oil exploration authorization challenged in court. Husband killed with his own knife, had tried to set wife on fire. Man who strangled woman with towel captured, and alleged Ponzi schemers failed to appear in court. Police suspect they forged positive COVID-19 results.